Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow. Now let's get started. Roman Reigns has been absent from WWE TV since Royal Rumble. Analyst for the Stamford-based promotion Sam Roberts recently suggested the OTC could return to cost a top superstar the men's Elimination Chamber match. Following their elimination from the men's Royal Rumble, Reigns, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins had an altercation at ringside. It saw the Second City Saint and the Visionary brawl. The latter also curb-stomped the OTC twice, once on the ground and then on the steel steps. On the following episode of Raw, Michael Cole announced that Roman would be out of action indefinitely following Rollins' attack. While the Visionary is scheduled to face Finn Balor in the final Elimination Chamber qualifying match tonight on Raw, Roberts predicted on his Not Sam Wrestling podcast that Rollins would win. He suggested that Reigns could then return to cost his former Shield partner in the Elimination Chamber match, leading to a clash at WrestleMania 41. What if Roman Reigns comes back and he's the one that costs Seth Rollins from winning the Elimination Chamber, if Seth is even in it, and the match is made between Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns? And what if CM Punk uses his favor to go, "Nope, I won in that match as well," Roberts said. After pointing out that Reigns would probably main event WrestleMania even if not in a title match, the WWE analyst claimed that CM Punk could cash in the favor that Paul Heyman owed him to get added to the OTC's battle with Rollins, turning it into a triple threat. He also noted that even if this angle between the former Shield mates didn't come to fruition, the Second City Saint could still cash in his favor to get a match with Roman and finally fulfill his dream of headlining the show of shows. What if we get to, and maybe it's not Seth Rollins, maybe it's somebody else, but what if we get to some kind of either Roman versus Punk straight up, because it could also be that, I don't care what Roman wants, Paul, I want the match. Roman versus Rollins versus Punk, Roman versus Punk could also be it. He goes, the Roman match is the main event. That's the match that I want. It's compelling for two reasons. Number one, Paul Heyman can actually get it done. That could be the favor that he uses. Number two, if Paul Heyman gets CM Punk in that match, whose corner is Paul Heyman gonna be in, he added. 54:25-55:24. Ex-WWE analyst thinks CM Punk versus Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins will happen at WWE WrestleMania 41 on a recent episode of the Busted Open podcast. Former WWE analyst Matt Kemp discussed the company's plans for the upcoming WrestleMania PLE. He claimed CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins are destined to clash in a triple threat match at the show of shows. The former Raw Talk host pointed out that the seeds for that feud have been planted since before WWE Survivor Series 2024. Now, to WWE's credit, go back to right before Survivor Series, when Bronson Reed ended up on the new Bloodline team, it seemed like a lock. Well, that's gonna be what brings Seth to tagging with Roman. And they didn't do that, and I was very depressed by that. Well, no, they go to Punk, and why? Well, now it plays into the story of everybody or enough people who shouldn't help Roman are helping him. So, that's driven Seth nuts. So, I would think Seth and Punk and Roman, that's gonna happen at WrestleMania, he said. It will be interesting to see if that massive match does indeed take place at this year's Showcase of the Immortals and whether Punk will finally realize his dream of main eventing WWE WrestleMania. The road to WrestleMania was heating up, and WWE's Elimination Chamber was set to determine the next challenger for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, LA Knight, Gunther, and AJ Styles were locked inside the steel structure, each battling for the golden ticket to WrestleMania. But what no one knew was that Roman Reigns, the once dominant tribal chief, had been watching from the shadows, waiting for the perfect moment to reassert his dominance. Despite being absent for months since losing the title to Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam, Reigns was still the most talked about figure in WWE. His family, the Bloodline, had been splintering in his absence, with Solo Sikoa stepping up as an enforcer and Paul Heyman scrambling to keep control. Now, with WrestleMania on the horizon, Reigns had a message to send. The question wasn't if he would return. The question was when. Chapter 2, The Elimination Chamber War begins. The ominous structure was lowered, encasing 6 of WWE's biggest stars. The match began at a blistering pace, with Cody and AJ Styles starting things off. Gunther was the next entrant, bulldozing his way through both men with vicious chops that echoed through the arena. LA Knight followed, bringing his signature energy and high-impact offense. Then, Drew McIntyre entered, immediately going after Gunther in a brutal brawl. The last pod opened, and Seth Rollins stormed into the match. The Visionary had a score to settle with everyone, but his focus was on Cody Rhodes, the man who had bested him multiple times over the past 2 years. Eliminations came in waves. AJ Styles was the first to go after a thunderous Claymore kick from McIntyre. Gunther powerbombed LA Knight into oblivion, eliminating the fan-favorite megastar. Seth Rollins delivered a curb stomp to Gunther, eliminating the ring general. This left the final 3, Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, and Drew McIntyre. Cody and Rollins put their past differences aside for a moment to take down McIntyre, but the Scottish Warrior was relentless. After an intense back and forth, Cody finally put him away with the Crossroads. It was now Cody versus Rollins, one-on-one for the golden opportunity. The crowd was electric, knowing that either man would be a worthy main eventer at WrestleMania. The two engaged in a thrilling exchange of reversals, counters, and near falls. Then, just as Cody hit his second Crossroads, the lights flickered. The arena fell into an eerie silence. Then, Shield Sierra Hotel India Echo Lima Delta. The Shield. The unmistakable sound of Roman Reigns' old Shield theme blared through the speakers, sending shockwaves through the crowd. Chapter 3, The Return of the Tribal Chief. Through the smoke-filled entrance, Roman Reigns emerged. He wasn't in a suit. He wasn't dressed in bloodline colors. He was in his old Shield gear, black vest and all, symbolizing a return to his roots. The moment Cody turned his head toward the ramp, boom. Roman Reigns was already in the ring, delivering a spear that cut Cody in half. Rollins, stunned but opportunistic, wasted no time. He covered Cody. 1, 2, 3. Seth Rollins won the Elimination Chamber. Cody Rhodes was screwed. The arena erupted in chaos. Boos rained down, while some fans were too shocked to react. Rollins stood in disbelief before realizing what had happened. Roman Reigns had just handed him a WrestleMania main event. Cody lay motionless on the mat, clutching his ribs, as Reigns stood over him. Paul Heyman emerged from the back, looking shocked and conflicted. Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso weren't there. This was all Roman's doing. The camera zoomed in on Roman's face. He whispered something to Cody before dropping the microphone. "You stole from me. Now I take from you." Chapter 4, The Fallout. The following night on Raw, Cody Rhodes opened the show. The normally composed and confident American Nightmare was visibly seething. "Roman Reigns," Cody said, his voice trembling with controlled rage. "You disappeared. You ran. You were gone for months while the rest of us carried this company. And now, when I have a clear path to WrestleMania, you decide to show up and take what's mine?" He paused, shaking his head. "Well, congratulations, Roman. You got my attention. Now you're going to regret it." Before Cody could say another word, Paul Heyman appeared on the Titantron. "Cody, my tribal chief is not here tonight," Heyman said. "But he has authorized me to deliver a message. He's coming back. He's coming for you. And there's nothing you can do to stop him." The screen cut to black. Chapter 5, WrestleMania Implications. While Seth Rollins was now officially headed to the WrestleMania main event, the bigger story was what this meant for Cody and Roman. Backstage reports surfaced that Triple H was considering a blockbuster triple threat match for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship at WrestleMania. Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. But some insiders believed that Roman's attack wasn't just about screwing Cody out of the main event, it was about demanding his own rematch for the title he never officially lost. A week later on SmackDown, Roman Reigns returned. This time, he was back in full bloodline mode, with Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso by his side. Roman grabbed a microphone and stared directly into the camera. "Cody," he said coldly, "you were never the guy. You were never the face of this business. You just kept my title warm. And now, I'm taking it back." Cody stormed out, refusing to be intimidated. "You want a fight, Roman? You got one. WrestleMania. One-on-one. No bloodline. No excuses." The crowd erupted. Roman smirked. "You don't make the rules, Cody. I do. And I say, I'll see you at WrestleMania." Chapter 6: The Bloodline Civil War? As WrestleMania approached, tension within the bloodline grew. Solo Sikoa, who had been stepping up in Roman's absence, began questioning Roman's authority. Jimmy Uso was caught in the middle, unsure whether to follow Solo or remain loyal to Roman. Meanwhile, Jey Uso was rumored to be returning to confront his family. At WrestleMania, Cody vs. Roman was made official, with Triple H declaring that this time, the bloodline would be banned from ringside. But the bigger question remained, could Roman Reigns reclaim his throne? Or was this truly the end of his empire? Epilogue: The battle for the ages at WrestleMania, Cody and Roman waged war in the biggest rematch of the decade. But just as Roman seemed poised to win, Solo Sikoa turned on him, delivering a Samoan spike heard around the world. Cody capitalized. Crossroads. 1, 2, 3. Cody retained his title. The bloodline had finally collapsed. Roman Reigns lay on the mat, staring at the ceiling, knowing that for the first time in years, he had lost everything. And the era of Cody Rhodes had truly begun. Would Roman seek vengeance? Would Solo Sikoa emerge as a new tribal chief? Or was this the true end of an era? One thing was certain, the road to WrestleMania was filled with blood, betrayal, and unfinished business.